Whispers in the wind, an introduction to climate control conspiracies. The air crackles with suspicion. Whispers weave tales of secret agendas. Could our climate be controlled, manipulated by unseen hands? The very idea seems like something out of a science fiction novel, a dystopian future we never thought we'd see. Yet the conspiracy theories surrounding climate control have taken root in the fertile ground of fear and uncertainty. These theories, often spread through the dark corners of the internet, allege that powerful forces are manipulating our weather for their own nefarious purposes. But what is the truth behind these whispers in the wind? The puppeteers of weather unraveling the claims. At the heart of many climate control conspiracies lies the belief that natural weather patterns are being artificially manipulated. Some claim that governments are using advanced technology to create droughts, floods, and even hurricanes, wielding weather as a weapon against their enemies. Others point to chemtrails, those long white plumes left behind by airplanes, as evidence that the atmosphere is being sprayed with chemicals to control the climate. Still others believe that powerful individuals or organizations are using weather modification technologies to benefit themselves, perhaps by manipulating agricultural markets or controlling water resources. These theories, often fueled by distrust of authority and a desire for simple explanations, have gained traction in a world grappling with the complex realities of climate change. Science fact versus science fiction, debunking the myths. While the idea of controlling the weather might seem like something out of a science fiction movie, it's important to separate fact from fiction. While it's true that humans have developed technologies to influence weather on a small scale, such as cloud seeding to enhance rainfall, these methods are a far cry from the large-scale manipulation claimed by conspiracy theorists. The sheer scale and complexity of Earth's climate system make it virtually impossible to control with current technology. Scientists have repeatedly debunked the claims made by climate control conspiracy theorists, providing evidence-based explanations for weather patterns and climate change. The overwhelming consensus among climate scientists is that the observed changes in our climate are primarily driven by human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels which release greenhouse gases into the atmosphere. Shadows of doubt, key events and figures fueling the conspiracy. Despite the lack of scientific evidence, certain events and figures have become intertwined with climate control conspiracies, further fueling the flames of distrust. One such event is the High-Frequency Active Auroral Research Program, or HAARP, a scientific research facility in Alaska that studies the ionosphere. Conspiracy theorists often point to HAARP as evidence of government weather manipulation, claiming that the facility's powerful antennas can be used to control the weather. However, scientists have repeatedly explained that HAARP's research is purely scientific and has no capability to influence weather patterns. Similarly, figures like billionaire philanthropist Bill Gates, who has invested in climate change research and mitigation efforts, have become targets of conspiracy theories, accused of using their wealth and influence to control the climate for their own benefit. Section 5. The why behind the whispers, unmasking the motives. Understanding the motives behind climate control conspiracies is crucial to addressing their impact. For some, these theories offer a sense of control in a world that feels increasingly chaotic and uncertain. By attributing extreme weather events to human manipulation, they provide a simple explanation for complex phenomena. For others, these conspiracies may stem from a deep distrust of authority, particularly governments and scientific institutions. They may see climate control as a form of government overreach or a tool for social control. Additionally, some may be motivated by a desire to protect vested interests, such as the fossil fuel industry, by sowing doubt about the science of climate change and shifting blame away from human activities. Regardless of the motives, it's important to recognize that climate control conspiracies can have real-world consequences, diverting attention and resources away from addressing the very real threat of climate change. Section 6. Sowing seeds of discord, the impact on public perception and policy. The spread of climate control conspiracies has had a tangible impact on public perception and policy decisions. By sowing seeds of doubt about the science of climate change, These theories can undermine public trust in scientific institutions and experts. This distrust can make it more difficult to implement effective climate policies, as some individuals may be more likely to believe misinformation than scientific evidence. Moreover, climate control conspiracies can create a sense of apathy or hopelessness, leading some to believe that climate change is either not real or that there is nothing we can do to stop it. This can hinder efforts to mobilize collective action and address the climate crisis. Section 7. The real threat ignoring the climate crisis. While the idea of governments or powerful individuals controlling the weather might seem like something out of a science fiction novel, the reality is that the climate crisis is already upon us. The impacts of climate change are being felt around the world, from more frequent and intense heat waves and droughts to rising sea levels and more extreme weather events. The scientific evidence is overwhelming. Human activities, particularly the burning of fossil fuels, are the primary drivers of these changes. Ignoring this reality and getting caught up in conspiracy theories only distracts from the urgent need to address the root causes of climate change and mitigate its devastating impacts. Section 8. A call to action, reclaiming our narrative. In the face of misinformation and conspiracy theories, it is more important than ever to reclaim the narrative around climate change. We must rely on credible sources of information, such as scientific research and expert analysis, to inform our understanding of this complex issue. We must engage in critical thinking, questioning the sources of information we encounter and evaluating evidence carefully. And we must hold those in power accountable for taking meaningful action to address the climate crisis. This includes demanding transparency and accountability from governments, holding corporations responsible for their environmental impact, and supporting policies that promote sustainability and a just transition to a clean energy future. Section 9. A future in our hands. The power of collective action. The challenges posed by climate change are daunting, but they are not insurmountable. We have the knowledge, the technology, and the resources to address this crisis and create a more sustainable and just future for all. The power to do so lies in collective action. By working together across borders and sectors, we can demand change, hold those in power accountable, and build a better world for ourselves and generations to come. This requires engaging in constructive dialogue, building bridges across ideological divides, and finding common ground in our shared humanity. Section 10. Conclusion: choosing truth in the age of deception. In an age of information overload and rampant misinformation, it is more important than ever to be discerning consumers of information. We must be critical of what we read and hear, especially when it comes to issues as complex and consequential as climate change. The truth about climate change is not a matter of opinion or belief. It is based on decades of scientific research and evidence. While climate control conspiracies may offer simplistic explanations for complex phenomena, they ultimately distract from the real work that needs to be done to address this global crisis. By embracing truth, demanding accountability, and taking collective action, we can create a future where the whispers of conspiracy are drowned out by the chorus of voices demanding a just and sustainable world.